Hey folks, Trevor Levesque here with LPRS. Gladly, finally back in Michigan. It's wonderful. I've been missing it. I've been in Colorado for the last year and a half. Last video you saw with the Badger set, we were in Colorado. All our videos will be from Michigan now, which is, it's wonderful. It's a really good feeling to be back home. But anyway, what we're going to do today is we have a Duke number 2 dual coil spring. We're going to go ahead and modify this trap. So we're going to show you the modifications we do before we boil it. And the reason we do it prior to is once it comes out of boiling, you want to touch it as little as possible until they get a good coat of rust and the dye sticks, so you don't get any scent on the trap or anything at all. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, we'll show you the tools. Simple. I stick with a pair of vice grips, a pair of channel locks, a small Phillips screwdriver, and a 7mm wrench for the nut on the pan. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is take the vice grips and clamp onto the J-hook, and we're going to take off the swivel link. All I do is I put my channel locks through here and use it for leverage and open it up. Take the J-hook out of the swivel link. We're going to take a double stake swivel, run our J-hook through it. So go ahead and recrimp the J-hooks. Now a lot of guys, once they open a J-hook once, they won't reuse it, and that's fine. Everyone has their own preference. To me, the way this steel is, I won't open, if I have to open a J-hook more than twice, I get rid of it and use a new one. When you buy your bags of double link swivels, double stake swivels, they come with a J-hook in the bag as well. You get the same count that you get for your swivels. So if you have to change them, you'll have them. We like to order extra as well because you never know. So once we get the chain done, I'll go ahead and check the other J-hook to make sure it's good. And what we're going to do first is at the ends of on the outsides of the jaw, these 2 pins on both sides are straight out. Now with this U-bracket down here, the metal, if an animal's thrashing around a lot and you got a big animal in the trap and he's strong, if he pulls and jerks enough, there's always a chance that the ends of these jaws could pop out of this slot. Doing that, the jaws pop loose, you lose the animal, and then you have a trap that you have to repair. So we're going to go ahead and bend these up in a slight angle, and we'll show you what it looks like afterwards.
Try to clamp onto both of them at the same time, like Trevor's doing. That way, you bend them evenly. Looks more uniform. You won't get burred on the jaws from doing it that way.
So once you bend them up, what you've done is you've created a 90-degree angle from the tip that sticks out to the jaw here. They're not going to be able to unbend that when they're thrashing around, so it's not going to cause any harm. Next thing we're going to do is on the spring, there's these 2 little ribs, 2 little bars that stick up. We're going to bend those down in a slight angle. If they thrash around enough and the spring gets pulled loose, or if somehow the chain gets caught on the dog and they pull this bar back, the spring system could come off. If that comes off, your jaw's open, you lose the animal. So we're going to go ahead and prevent that. So we're going to bend these down and we'll show you what it looks like. I like to use the tailgate. It's got a flat surface, and then using the channel locks, I bend it down until the base of the channel lock hits the tailgate, and this way all of my bends are uniform on all my traps. When I grab these, I grab it about 1/8 of an inch away so it has room to bend, so you're not putting any pressure on any of these bars and sucking that spring in farther.
It bends them to about a 45-degree angle. Just handy for him to use. All right, the short version of the pan.
So you can see the bars from the side on the spring. We've bent them down, so that's going to prevent that spring from popping out at all. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to adjust the pan tension. So I like to just move the pan a few times, kind of get everything lined up. We're going to put the pan in the up position, and we're going to go ahead and use a 7mm wrench on the nut and the screwdriver and just slightly loosen it until the pan falls on its own, and then tighten it just a little bit so there's a little tension left on the pan. Alright, and when you're done, we'll go through one final inspection. Start at your double swivel, your double stake swivel. Check your J-hook, go down your chain, make sure you're good. Check the J-hook at the trap. Check your ends of your jaw, make sure you bend them up. Check the spring bars, make sure you bent those. Check your trap to make sure you've adjusted it. And we're ready for boiling. So we're going to go ahead and take you out back, and we're going to show you the boiling process that we have, the boiler that Jason built, and walnut water that we use instead of dye. It's a natural dye, so stay with us.
I'm Jason Levac from LPRS, here with my brother Trevor. Trevor is doing a trap modification video, and I was working on my truck and I could hear him flipping off about the difference in our modifications for our traps, so I figured I'd jump in the video and give him a hand for a little bit. We've got our boiling pot set up out here. This is the easiest way for me to do it. I've got a 55-gallon drum that I use as a burn barrel, and I was out here burning stuff one day, and I just figured it'd be simple to take an old pressure cooker and drill a hole where the handles used to be, put a pipe through it, and set it right down over the top of that, and I could boil my traps. Gotta have the patented kitty litter water jug, or it won't work right. I'm getting a little bit low on water from all the traps that Trevor boiled overnight. He boiled about 5 or 6 dozen of them. I fill it right up. I don't care if it overflows a little bit. When you start putting traps in, it's not going to put the fire out. We got a good bed of coals in there. I don't waste money on trap dye. There's too many walnut trees laying everywhere. I used to buy trap dye, actually, and an older guy that was in the store with me one day told me stop wasting my money on that and just start picking up some black walnuts. So that's what I started doing, and these seem to, I think that the walnuts work better than the trap dye anyway, and they're God's gift. I don't have to go to Gander Mountain or any other store to buy them. So I like getting the black nasty ones. Just let them. So we got our walnuts and our water boiling pretty good. Modifications have already been made to the traps. That way, after they get boiled, we're not handling them a lot, except for when we go out in the field to lay them. There's no science to it. Drop them in your boiling water or rotted walnuts. I usually let them sit in there for an hour, or sometimes till, I forget about them. Let me make a long story short, boiling them takes the rust proofing agent and the oils off that the traps come with, so that you're not buying rusty traps when they're on the shelves. After you boil them about an hour, it takes those agents off of them, and boiling them in the walnuts puts this nice black coating on it. That black coating and a little bit of rust. That walnut kills a lot of our scent too, so it's a lot cheaper. It's cheaper than log dye. It's easier. It's just as quick. So that's what I like to do. But were you able to get those? You're editing all this, right?
Yeah. Well, hey, one more thing too that I do. We do it a couple different ways. Jason likes to go ahead and take a punch and ping the threads. If a dog's thrashing around or the animal's thrashing a lot, what can happen is it backs off the nut, you lose the pan. You won't lose the animal, but if you're not paying attention when you pick your traps up after you harvest your animal, you'll be out parts. So a little dab of Loctite on the end of it, let it seep into the threads, or a punch to ping the threads so the nut can't back off. all these little things just kind of help you save money and time on your traps.
I've even had raccoons thrashing around in a 1.5 Duke knock the nut off of the pan bolt. So you know, he likes Loctite. I like to ping him. I ping the threads just enough that it crushes the thread so that the nut can't loosely come off of it. But you can still very easily put a wrench on it and take the nut off. But an animal that's scared or angry isn't gonna just be able to knock that nut right off there with ease. So this is what they look like after they come out of the walnut die. Don't ever put your Loctite on before you boil the traps, because Loctite breaks down with the heat.
So I'm Trevor Levesque.
I'm Jason Levesque.
And we're LPRS Pro Staff. You can check us out on www.levexprs.com. You can go to the link at the end of the credits. Make sure you check out our web store. We're authorized retail dealers for Reese Outdoors products out of Kenai, Alaska. Phenomenal predator calls.
Guy makes great calls, man. We also buy and sell furs, and we are in the process of fur manufacturing right now, so pretty soon we'll have arrow quivers, hats, gloves, moccasins, floor rugs, a lot of fur items that we'll be selling that we make ourselves.
Hand warmers, mittens. So whether you're a hunter, trapper, ice fisherman, or just live in the North Country, great quality furs. Nothing's warmer. The animal has to deal with the cold all winter, and their fur protects them, so I'm sure it'll protect us too.
If you're a Michigan resident and you're watching this video in the spring of 2015, we'll be offering classes for CPL, advanced pistol courses, possibly tactical courses and shotgun and rifle courses too, all dealing with safety in the home and out of the home. So make sure if you visit us, make sure you come back, visit us again, because we're going to constantly be adding a lot of things to our website.